When people talk about the driving organization in international education, they talk about the Asia Society. And when they talk about the driving force within that organization, they talk about Vivien Stewart, its Vice President for Education.
Where are we on the youth website, and how do you see building that out next year?
She is a ball of fire. That's what I call people like Vivien. She knows what needs to be done. She's got this big vision of the world. She's a person who knows what America's role has got to be in it, who feels deeply inside of herself that we've got to change, we've got to learn, we've got to be competitive, and that we can do it.
Our goal is to ensure that the next generation of American high school students are prepared for this global age in which they will be selling to the world, buying from the world, working for international companies, working in collaboration with people from other countries. So they are going to need to know much more about the world outside our borders than previous generations.
Vivien can get people so excited and get them so aware of the issues around global education. She's one of those people that after she leaves, you say, Vivien, what did I agree to do? And you do it.
I grew up in a working class neighborhood in a small provincial city in England where nobody had been to college, let alone had any international connections. And I distinctly remember a series of books I read from the local public library when I was very young about children in other countries that piqued my curiosity. So from a very early age, I had a passion to travel and to learn about the world.
We are here in Nablus, Palestine.
How does the occupation affect your daily lives as a student?
Students in schools like this one are excited about making connections with schools and cultures around the globe. Stewart and her staff at Asia Society have worked closely with states and policymakers on developing guidelines and action plans to further international education. These include teaching more languages and beginning them in elementary school.
Can you imagine if they stick with this all the way through 12th grade? Do you realize what kind of an education they will have received versus what you and I received as we came along? That's what I think is going to be the key to the success of the United States well into the future.
My Chinese name is Zhu Yunyi, and my English name is July.
What we fail to understand is that if other countries speak our language, they have great insight into our culture and economy. We don't necessarily have great insight into theirs. So they get us, but we don't get them.
These are some of the dedicated principals from the International Studies Schools Network at their Summer Institute. Asia Society has received generous funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to create a network of small, internationally themed secondary schools, preparing students for college and their futures.
The encouraging thing is there are schools like this all over the country and have been for a while, but they have been relatively isolated. And so what we are trying to do is to help share those best practices with other kinds of schools, and particularly with schools in low-income areas where students may not know anything outside their neighborhood, let alone about the rest of the world.
A lot of students come to us at our schools, and they may not be passionate yet about international relations or political science or global environmental problems. And what happens is when they immerse themselves in that culture, all of a sudden they develop those interests.
Asia Society has also partnered with the Goldman Sachs Foundation to award prizes for excellence in international education. One of last year's winners was the Walter Payton College Preparatory High School in Chicago, which uses video conferencing and an extensive exchange program.
When we speak with you, we may not understand many words, but we are very happy to continue learning.
This is engaging content to them. They want to have discussions about how to solve problems in Darfur and what to do about environmental issues in China. If high schools are boring, this is one way to make it less boring.
These kids are learning what the facts are, and they're interested in it, and they're going to be great leaders, all because of Vivien Stewart and her great interest in things and her marvelous leadership.